Hey guys, welcome back. So, y'all know the situation with Maria that's been all over social media. A video started circulating showing her at a welfare office, and once that hit the internet, it basically blew up instantly. People ran with it, started talking, and it turned into one of those situations where everyone has something to say. Maria has since addressed it herself and confirmed she was there and explained the reason for the visit.
I want to touch bases of why we were there, and I did not even want to step in there because I already knew something was gonna happen. So the reason why we had to go in, guys, is because we have been on Covered California.
That's confusing. We never applied for Medi-Cal. This year, I get a letter from our insurance that says our kids are no longer covered. They removed our kids from our health insurance.
They didn't remove us, they removed our kids.
They only removed our kids from our health insurance, which we're paying monthly for, and then they have been qualified for Medi-Cal.
I'm gonna know what took place this year. Never in my life being on Medi-Cal did the income ever shoot up that high. After taxes, mine and Bo's take home is like $9,300 and something dollars. So that's still a lot for our personal.
That's why we have our business.
So mind you, this year the limit for family size of 6 to qualify for Medi-Cal was $9,500. Me and Bo don't qualify because we make too much apparently, but our kids qualified. I don't know what law, I don't know what happened, I don't know what took place that changed up the game. Maybe minimum wage went higher, that it increased the limit for the family size. I don't know.
We've been doing like this for 3 years and this has never happened.
So now we're just so confused because we love our PPO. That is why we had to go in, because us trying to get to like
the bottom,
someone in the county to figure out why our kids were removed off our Covered California. So bottom line was we had to go into the welfare office, well, whatever you guys want to call it, apparently the welfare office, and we did have to pick up paperwork, and they were able to give me that printout, which you guys seen on screen. And if you guys have an issue with me being in a freaking welfare office because I qualified, well, not even me, we qualified because Bo's actually
we don't qualify
for Medi-Cal
with our kids,
but it's still our kids. Like if you have an issue,
we don't qualify. Our kids got pulled from our
So
insurance.
if you have an issue with our kids qualifying for Medi-Cal, then go take it up with the freaking county office. We do our shit right. If you have an issue, go take it with the county office. That is so out of our control.
Even after her explanation, people are still going back and forth about it. Some people still feel some type of way and don't really agree with it, especially considering the income they make online. This person said, y'all embarrassing, period. They're frauding somehow. Nothing wrong with being on Medi-Cal, but y'all are effing ridiculous with your BS. You can afford private insurance, so why the F are you on Medi-Cal when there are so many people who actually need it? You can afford to pay for a private plan. If she can afford to be spending money like that, she can afford a private insurance. I'm sorry, but this is not okay. You make $9K a month and getting government assistance. The average Joe, such as myself, can't even qualify for any government assistance. How is this right? Most kids qualify? That's a lie. My sister and brother-in-law pay for their kids' insurance, and they definitely make less than $9K a month. You're cheating the taxpayers for covering your kids at the same time you live in a $1 million house. Pay for your own insurance. That program is for those that don't have money for insurance. Your fraud will catch up to you. Splurging on your social media while your kids are on Medi-Cal doesn't necessarily look right, so people are going to continue to talk and judge. Sorry to break it to you. Okay, so technically you qualify, but morally, do you feel it's right to use a taxpayer-funded program that some people that make as little as $4,000 per month don't qualify for, while you're trying to avoid paying the least amount of taxes possible? Does that make sense to anyone? If you can afford luxury, why can't you pay for private insurance? And why hide it from your mom if there's nothing wrong with it? Now, these next few people feel like the situation is being dragged out. This person said, y'all in the comments hating while y'all could be getting money. I don't know why people are so mad. Yeah, they make a ton of money, but that means they also pay a ton of taxes, which means they're still paying for their own People are just haters and mad. You shouldn't even have to explain yourselves. I can never understand why people feel like they need to be so involved in other people's pockets and business like that. It's wild to me. At the end of the day, you all have to do what is best for you and your family. Now, on top of that, there's also been some drama between Maria and her ex-friend. In that situation, the ex-friend alleged that Maria was talking about her 8-year-old daughter. Both of their daughters are on cheer, and that whole situation has also been making its rounds online. Here's what her ex-friend Nevaeh had to say.
Not everything as genuine as it looks, especially on social media. People are giving a whole different image than what truly is really going on. It doesn't sit well with me knowing that you have grown women talking about my 8-year-old daughter at practice and thinking it's okay to even speak upon a child, regardless of what the situation is, whether you feel like she has too long of a legs to be a flyer or whatever. Like, I'm sorry, at the end of the day, I'm a mom and I'm going to protect my baby as any mom would. And I don't know what grown woman would sit there and even have a conversation or say that you're not too petty to do a jacket or whatever. But to me, if you felt comfortable enough to speak upon me, my daughter, just because you thought you knew me, or you portrayed like you know me and have everybody look at me a certain way at practices, comps, whatever sits well within your heart, it's cool, because I walk solo for a reason. I don't go to cheer comps with a whole crowd. I don't do none of that. I walk by myself with my head strong. It's not easy to sit there and know that you have grown women speaking upon your 8-year-old daughter, and you got to sit there and bite the bullet, because for me, that's really, really hard. Somebody will, be held accountable for their actions, and that's just within God.
Maria has also responded to that situation, addressing what was said and sharing her side.
I'm actually going to be addressing this once, and I'm going to just leave it here. What's to come in the future, I don't know, but I just want to nip this in the bud. I think it's so funny how Nevaeh chooses to open up about a situation on the last day of our cheer season. Mind you guys, me and Nevaeh have not been friends for a year now. A year. We stopped talking before the new season began. So I think it's kind of weird that she talked about a whole situation that had nothing to do with our fallout. Situation she's talking about is literally hearsay, because for one, she does not ever come to cheer practice ever. I do sit with a group of cheer moms, and when we talk, it's not to talk negatively about a kid. So the jacket that I'm getting dragged about me gossiping about a kid, I would never do that. I don't even tell Serenity and involve Serenity. I tell her, you're allowed to be friends with Kaylani, even though me and her mom are not friends. It's not the same the other way around. So I think that's kind of ironic that she wants to basically say that she cares for her daughter in a way where she's involving her in adult drama. Leave the kids to be kids, and then leave our drama to be our drama. So the whole jacket reference, yes, I was given a jacket, and it was a jacket that we were making for Nashville, which is our last cheer competition. And when I was handed the jacket, I did make the comment saying, of course I'll do the jacket. I'm not petty like that, even though I do not like Nevaeh. I don't like her, guys. Me and her had a pretty bad fallout, and she's just a person. I've never really given the reason being, but I did kind of touch bases when we were live streaming on Twitch one time. Our fallout was because she fucked me over, and she's just a person that cannot take accountability, which I don't even want to get into details, because I feel like there's just certain shit I want to keep off the internet, and it's so draining that I do not want to feel I'm talking about somebody. It's just exhausting. It's been a year now, but the whole fallout was she fucked me over on a situation, and I text her, and there was no accountability. She just acted like nothing. She ghosted me. I waited a couple weeks, never heard from her, so the silence spoke very loud. So as a person, as a grown woman, if you cannot accept accountability, I can no longer be friends with a person like that. I've done so much for her. I've done so much for her kids. Now to address the whole flyer situation. So that's a conversation that she obviously had to be present for, because when we were, training for Nashville, the ending stunt where it's the 5 flyers, the whole pod, when they're connected, it just looked off. We weren't sitting there as moms bashing Kaylani. That was never the case. like start name dropping. So the other girl to come on this side to even out the pod, or flip flop. Like it was just a conversation that cheer moms have, giving input, but obviously we're never going to understand the real reasoning because we're not coaches. We're just sitting behind a glass window. We can give all the input we want. It doesn't necessarily mean we're gossiping. I think that there was just more emotion to that because for the showcase, it's unfortunate, but Kaylani fell. And I think it really triggered her in a sense where, like, I really don't know. I really don't know. I can't even tell you. But I would never gossip about a kid, guys. That is not in my nature at all, nor would the other moms even gossip about kids. But with that being said, I'm gonna just leave it at that. And there's just certain people that are basically brought into your life as a lesson or a blessing. And in my case, I'm gonna take this as a lesson because she was just a negative person to be around, and it was really, really, really draining. So I'm gonna just leave it here, guys. I'm currently on my way to take Serenity to Orlando, and yes, I'm doing cheer mom shit because this is shit that I was missing out the last 2 years, and it's been the best feeling this last year experiencing other people other than me self-isolating myself to Nevaeh. So I'm gonna go have fun. I hope this shit could just end here, but time will tell. And if she really wants to have a conversation with me, she has my number. She's seen me at a couple comps where she could have addressed me. I don't understand the reasoning why she had to bring it to social media. Also too, guys, remember, I'm a normal human being. I should be able to have fallouts with friends that were friends. There's friends that come in your life for seasons, and there's friends that are in your life for a lifetime. And I should be able to have fallouts with friends without explanation. I know I share so much of my life, and the only reason why I'm addressing this is because it was brought to social media, and I refuse to let me be talked about in a negative way when that wasn't even how the story went. But I'm surrounded by so much love. I have so many real friends that are around me right now that have my back, and it's so crazy because I love them for that, but they're like, I will go on social media, I put me on camera and I will talk about it, and I'm like, it's okay. I can handle this. But I'm just so grateful for life right now, guys, and I can't let one bad apple spoil my life. I can't. That's crazy.
Now, here are people's thoughts on the situation. This person said, if the fallout was between you and her, why gossip to all the other moms about it? You're not a genuine person. You say one thing, but throw jabs. I used to really like you and defend you, but you've become so petty and think that you're too good for anyone. She's always beefing with everyone. She has no friends. Wow, this is why I can't respect Us Always anymore. This is crazy. No wonder why the Aguilars don't have a relationship with Us Always, because of Maria. That's messed up. And lastly, Maria responded to this comment that said, so what happened with Jamar and Steph? Angie, your nail tech. Caleb, you're just like Yvette XO, always falling out with friends. Maria replied, I'm fine with cutting people off when people F me over. Remember, not everyone is meant to be in your life forever. I'm sure you've had fallouts too. It's absolutely normal. It's what happens after that shows a person's true colors. So as you guys can see, the internet definitely had a lot to say about this and the welfare situation, and it doesn't look like the conversation is slowing down anytime soon. Now that is all I have on this video, but before we end it, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on this, so let me know what you think down in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video.